Welcome to the good, the bad, and the sequel with your hosts, Doug and Jamie.
You know, you boys want to shoot. Now's the time.
We are back, and this is the movie podcast where we're talking sequels, and we do it in two parts. The first, an interview with an actor, someone involved that made the film worth watching, and the second, a discussion of the sequel, what they got right, what they got wrong, and how it could have been better. Hope you enjoyed last week's interview with Matthew Marsden, who played Schoolboy in this week's sequel, Rambo 2008, I guess. That's how it's labeled a lot, because it was going to be called John Rambo, but then Rocky Balboa came out, and they're like, why are we going to do the same name for a movie? But Matthew is awesome. The fact that he, Destiny's Child backed him up on the track, and his story is about Michael Caine, and man, it's so much. Go back and check that out. But before I don't know, I'll ask Jamie as soon as we start this, but watching this movie, I thought I was dead. That's how many people died during this. But I have to, before I say anything more, introduce you to my partner in this sequel watching journey, Jamie Riccardi. Jamie, how you doing, man?
Doug, I'm exhausted. I mean, I just watched this movie about 2 hours ago. I've seen it before, but I kind of forgot a lot about it. And I think this might be the most violent movie I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, so I know we talk about it at the end sometimes, but money-wise, I was like, I wonder how this movie did. Phenomenal. 3-time profit on it, but it was like too gruesome, and I think that's why, because Matthew mentioned it in the interview was, hey, you're going to be Schoolboy, and I already have ideas for a Schoolboy Rambo, like, sequels. So, like, not saying that ruined that for half of them, but when you see a movie that's successful, usually they're like, all right, where's the next one? Where is it?
Well, it's also nostalgia. I mean, when did Rambo 3 come out? I mean, it had to be like
90. I feel like they were all done in the 89,
right, so 90. You want to say about 20 years ago. So, yeah. I mean, the fact that John Rambo was back on the screen, and Stallone is massive in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, he's huge. So, I mean, like, of course, you would know that this movie was going to be big. But, I mean, bigger also, I guess, he like, violence. I mean, all the Rambos are violent, but not gory. Like, this is like gore. This is violence. This is like every gunshot is a limb or a head blown off. Like, in the first one, like, you get stabbed or you get shot. You see the gunshot wound, and that's it. Here, this is sick. I mean, there's a lot of, like, oh, we got to get into it because, I mean, not even the gore fact. There's some of the things of the children, and, like, it's
and
crazy.
Dogs.
The dogs, I mean, it's all right. We got to get it. Let's get into it.
I think as they made up for lost time, they were like, hey, we haven't done one in 19 years. We got to kill as many people in that.
I think if you combined all the kills from beginning of the movie, not even just Rambo. I mean, John Rambo has, I mean, obviously a million kills at the end of the movie, but just from the beginning of the movie to what the Burmese guys do and all the way up, probably have more kills combined. If you add Arnold, all those guys, I think Stallone still has another 500 kills on top of that. Easily.
I don't even know what the kill count is for this movie, but I don't know how somebody can even count it because it's insane. So let's get into this. And one thing I forgot about this movie was how political it was because of everything that was going on in Burmese at the time. So, like, the beginning shots of the movie are, like, pretty gross.
And they're real video. So it's like, like, they don't waste any time. I mean, like, the first, I mean, it starts off with these videos of real videos of death, people. And then it goes right to that next scene, which was, to me, such a sick scene. Like, not sick in a good way, like sick, like it was hard to watch. It
is hard to watch. And that's one thing I remember. I took a date to the movies to see this.
Oh,
the only date we had.
It's romantic, huh? Let's go to the most violent movie ever for a date.
I think it was the same year this movie I took on a date and Balls of Fury, the ping pong movie.
Wait, was this a first date bringing a girl on?
Both of them, both first date, both last date.
So you thought like a super violent movie to show like your personality on a first date. That was the way to go.
Well, this is a choice. The other one we were supposed to see some like Halloween or one of those movies, and I didn't buy the tickets. So I was like, Balls of Fury? And she's like, oh, sure. And then afterwards, she ghosted me.
Did she know what Balls of Fury was?
She never found out.
I mean, if she doesn't know movies, she might think like you were bringing her to her like a porno or something.
Maybe. At the local Edison Lowe's movie theater. But yeah, so that first scene, like you see these people, man, the actors they got to play these roles, dude,
Yeah.
I thought that it was real. That's how good it was. They were so scared. And dude, that scene of them throwing the mines.
And they were betting on it. So,
Yeah.
and then, so they're, in case you haven't seen it, they're running across, they're betting who's going to hit the landmine,
Yeah.
out of like these 5 people descending over there. And then you're happy, like some of them make it. And what
Yeah.
do? They kill them anyway.
No.
Like these guys, I hope it's exaggerated. I mean, I would hate to think that the real people that are doing these crimes and vicious attacks are not doing what they did in this movie, because really these guys were probably the most like criminal, like the most guys I think I've ever seen in a movie. Just from start to finish, these guys are animals.
The only thing I have to say, even though it was gross and the beginning was real footage, at least we got something before the title screen. There was something, and then it came up, and then there was a lot about this movie that was kind of like, we'll get into it. But then we cut to, then it's really relaxing music. It's
I laughed at that because you had this violent scene.
Yeah.
And then you have this slow, quiet, peaceful Rambo music.
And then he's like catching snakes. And oh no, how about his fishing with a bow and arrow?
Yeah, he's catching snakes he's catching cobras. Not even snakes. He's catching cobras with his bare hands, and he's fishing with a bow and arrow. He
was Bear Grylls. I'm sure he was around then, but Jesus, when he shot the bow and arrow, I'm like,
yeah,
that's Rambo. That's how Rambo fishes, I guess.
I mean, why do you think he does that? Just to keep his skills sharp, or just
I don't know, but they should have showed him do like other chores around the house the same way. Like, how does he vacuum?
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at the place he lives in, I think he lives outside. Like, it looked like he had like a little hammock outside.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, so I don't think he has the use of a vacuum.
I would love to know what, even if they did like a little bit of exposition of like, what was he doing the last, 20 years?
He's in another country, and he's the expert on the river. Like the guys that got the people that live there their entire life are not the expert. Some American who just moved there, who knows how, 15 years ago, he's the expert.
Yeah.
And then he wears a button-down shirt most of the movie.
He does.
Why?
This is lucky shirt.
Oh, okay.
So how about the one guy's yelling at Rambo, and the only word I understand is cobra. So in Burmese, there's no word for cobra. Everything else, there's words, but not cobra. And then we're watching humans fight cobras.
Yeah.
Talking about that pay-per-view. Holy shit.
Isn't that crazy? Like,
it looked real. That was real, right?
Real. Yeah, it looked very real. And it's funny you said that. I feel like Rambo gets yelled at a lot in this movie.
Oh.
Now you look at him; he looks like an angry. Well, first of all, he's like the size of the Hulk. I mean, he's huge in this movie. He just looks like he really just doesn't want any nonsense from anybody, and everybody's yelling at him. Like when you like walk on eggshells around him, like he just looks like he can go berserk at any moment, and every single even the people from the church are yelling at him.
And why is he so calm about it? Because he's not. I know he is calm until he has to break, like in the first movie. He just wants something to eat, and they fucked with him. And obviously, that's insane. The whole movie, that's crazy. They brought it upon themselves the whole time. But like in this movie, like you said, he takes so much shit. We'll get to the British guy, the main British guy. Obviously, Matthew Marsden, Schoolboy is British, but. The things that he's saying for no reason.
I know. He seems more angry than Rambo. I mean, he's first of all, there's a couple of dicks in this movie.
Him, Michael's a dick.
Yeah,
the church guy. He's a
right.
Dick.
Both those guys. So I mean, like for no reason. Like the British guy, I guess the captain. of the secret team.
Yeah, I think his name's. I'm gonna say Lewis. I don't know why.
Okay, so he has a chip on his shoulder the second he gets there. Like, how do they choose this team to go out there when this guy clearly does not want to be there? And like, I don't think he's really good at his job.
He was kind of like Danny Glover, like too old for this shit. Almost like I should be retiring, like that whole time. But dude, so the first thing, church group again. I get they want to help out, but man, to put yourself in, that's scary as shit.
And to be a female, there's only one female, first of all, in the group.
Yeah.
But I mean, thank goodness, because without her, Rambo wouldn't have a soft spot, and he would not have won.
That is true. What did her friend bail out the last minute?
No, was she married to the other guy?
I don't know. They had that connection later, but I don't think so. But I can't look at her because I just hated her on Dexter.
I know, but I hate her in this movie because if she's not married to that guy, I feel like Rambo had a little like crush on her.
He did, and she screamed for like 17 minutes at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Scream. It would be like cut to her.
It was very loud. There was a lot of bullets going around.
It was. But when you have a guy that's sniping next to you, screaming isn't helping.
You know, I mean, we'll get to that, but that gun he had was amazing.
Oh, I know.
That was just awesome.
So some of the lines in this movie are like really. I wrote a bunch of the lines down, and so Sly says to her, "Are you bringing in weapons? You aren't changing anything." And it was just like he had a lot of great one-liners in this movie that were awesome.
What I wrote down was that he sounds like Tarzan when he's in when she meets with him, because everything is like 2 words: go home, can't help, not interested. Like it was just like it was very short and just like, you know, again, like very like they're one-liners, but they were like very brief. Like you just.
Do you think that was purposeful? So she's like, "Oh, this guy's like, you know, Lenny of Mice and Men. Let me like stand back a little bit."
You thought he was trying to be special?
Maybe. Everybody else thought he was. Everybody thought they could just like beat him down, but.
Well, he was the boat guy, or what did he call him?
The boatman. The boatman stays with the fucking boat. That was insane. That guy, just the balls on that guy. To say that.
Yeah, I know.
So then again, he lives on nothing, like you said. Like he has, you know, he lives in a hammock and he has like his boat. That's really all he has. But
and his job is fishing and catching cobras. That's it.
Do you think he has any money?
For what? There's no stores there.
No, I know that, but you know, maybe he needs something. Where's he get the bow and arrow? What do they have? Like Dick's Sporting Goods down the street?
He's Rambo. He makes them. You saw him making his own sword before. Which,
that was awesome.
Yeah, but I question that because this is Rambo. I mean, how many times did you would think that his weapons would already be available. Like he doesn't have to make weapons from scratch.
I did like that in this movie because there's one point in this movie he's like, "I'm gonna go on my own," and then he has no weapons, and I'm like, what is he gonna do? So there were some really cool parts of this movie that were like a little bit different than Rambo.
Well, when he was making the weapon, for the first time you heard him talk in his head.
Yeah,
that definitely was cool. But I mean, I still think he would have his weapons available. He's Rambo.
Yeah, come on, Rambo, get on it. So again, the murder count in this movie is insane, and so. Sarah, Julie Benz's character, he says no, they leave the guys. Michael, oh yeah, Michael's kind of a dick. And again, I don't know if it's like his church group, his religion, whatever, but he's like, what is it? What are you going to say different than I just said to him? And then he tries to corner her and he says no. And then she's in the pouring rain. Where are they staying? Are they staying right there? Because for her to have to walk that far in the dark, in the rain.
How they find his little like village? I mean, like it looks like a village in the middle of nowhere. Like,
is it the only one on the river? That's like there's no one out. Wouldn't they go like, oh shit, this guy can't take us? How about the next thing over? You know, like.
And again, if you're trusting, you need to get to a certain area where, like only very few people know. I don't know if I would trust an American. Like I would want a local guy to take me.
That is true.
I don't know.
It's like you go to see the Great Wall of China. You're not going to say like, oh, I'm going to choose Todd. Oh, Todd, how long have you been here? Oh, I've just been here a few weeks, but I'm going to show you what I read in a book. So then she does that speech and it works. And he wants no money. They want to pay him money.
Oh, she does a speech in the pouring rain. Her hair's all wet. Her clothes are wet. I mean, listen, she knew what she was doing. She went out there, and listen, Rambo 2, he also fell in love with the girl with the. So he does, he cares about women, and so he wanted to help her because
I was thinking when that part happened, when he was kind of into her, I thought we were gonna get like a Death Wish kind of thing, like everybody that he likes, because that scene in Rambo 2 is sad.
Well, very sad. The fact that she did not get hit by a bullet at the end of the movie is amazing. So yes, I thought she was going to take something at some point. But I did love the fact that like his relationship with her, because even when the jerky guy from the church was talking to him, he's like, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to her. Like he totally ignored everybody else but her for the rest of the trip. Like as long as she's okay, then he's okay.
Yeah. And so then they finally start onto the track. They're on the water, and it seemed pretty quick. And the Burmese, like river pirates.
Yeah. Within seconds. Like they were having like some kind of party or something.
Yeah.
And I mean, and he even warned them, like, listen, stay down, be quiet. And they're still talking. They're still like, after that first part, I would say, let's go back. We can't do anything.
Yeah. And that's it. And they start, why were they talking shit?
I know.
Like he basically told you, again, you're in another country, you have no weapons.
Yeah.
And, dude, as quick as he does that, I'm like, all right, another 5 kills. Like within no time, he pulls the gun out, boom, 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 and just the gore.
You've never seen Rambo shoot like that, though. Like he's always using a machine gun or a knife. Like he shot like a cop. Like he did. He shot and it was like on target. He's like, yeah. I mean, and I didn't think he even had a gun. I thought he was gonna, start bashing him with the knife. And no, he was awesome. And yeah, like I said, every gunshot, like parts of the body come off.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole movie.
And at this point, Michael should be like, oh my God, thank you. He says, I'm going to report you.
I have to tell on you. and then Rambo goes, so listen, they would have raped her and they would have killed all of you. And I think he said like, they would have raped her like 45 times and they would have like beheaded all of you and killed you all. At that point though, don't you think she would have said, you know what, let's go back.
Yeah.
And she goes, no, let's keep going. Are you like? And
he says that, and Michael kind of seems like he wants to go.
You all want to go.
He's like, yeah, and that was crazy because she was like, no, I want to go. It's like after all that he just said, you're already in the trip only for I don't know how long, but you're already encountering this, and all this shit could happen to you. But no,
they passed one like dock, and that's what happened already. Like, what do you think is going to happen in the next one? Yeah, I don't think they planned ahead. I mean, it was 5 people, going into like the most violent area. One of the most violent areas in the world. What did they think was going to happen?
Yeah, wouldn't they hire like one guy to have a gun or something, like a bodyguard, like anyone? But no. Yeah. So then we get like a montage of them like hiking through the woods, and then Rambo just like drops them off and heads back, and then we just get, and then it cuts right, and then no time, right?
Yeah.
So how long do you think passed before all the village people? Was it like the next day?
Well, time kind of jumps around because even when they get taken, she was gone for like 10 days.
No, I know that. That's what I mean.
Right. So I would say they were in the village. I mean, I would say a week. I mean, yeah. I don't think it was that much. I mean, enough that they're already like helping the people around with like the bandages and surgery and all that stuff. So I'd say let's say for argument's sake a week.
Yeah, it was just like when the guy showed up and he's like, the village was taken, and I think he said something. He's like, and then we haven't heard back from. They were there, so and so, and we haven't heard from them in 10 days. I'm like, holy shit, what's been Rambo'd? So this is like, I was thinking that it was like pretty quick, but dude, this, and then he gets quiet because he agrees, obviously, because he's kind of in love with Sarah. I think he is.
Yeah, I think he is.
He hasn't loved. I don't think there was a love storyline in 3. I don't think.
No, I mean, there wasn't a love story in 1 either.
Oh no, I know. Just in 2.
Well, I mean, 3. had what's his name? What's the colonel's name? Colonel.
Oh yeah, was it their love story?
Troutman. Well, his focus was on Troutman, because Troutman was kidnapped, so he really couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
But I think, he definitely. Listen, he's in this village with all these people that don't speak English. I didn't see too many women in the village either. Where he,
I know. I'm surprised he wouldn't have. I know, not a lot of women in this movie.
Right.
And,
So now you have an American woman, attractive American woman come over. Yeah. It's like being in prison for 40 years and all of a sudden you come out.
And that is why the wars. That's why wars start. One white woman shows up, and they're like, "Yeah."
The next scene when they attack the village, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay. This scene was extremely disturbing.
No, I know.
I mean, I feel like, he purposely has these nice moments in between these scenes because, you got to cool off a little bit before you dive right in. And this scene, some of the things that went on with these guys, just nuts. Now, were they going after them because they knew the Americans were there, or?
See, I don't know. Is that something I guess for them that's a good thing. You take American hostages and then get a ransom money or some kind of bargaining chip.
Or was it because of the pirates? They found out about the pirates.
Oh, that could be it too.
That was
how do they know where they were going? I guess.
Well, it was probably the next stop. There's only a few stops on the river.
That was the next stop. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no express.
It's only one boat guy and only one stop.
Oh man.
So then the one thing that was crazy when so Rambo burnt the boat of the guys he murdered. Oh, I guess they could have still found it. But he went back, circled back, poured gasoline all over it because he was like, oh, shit, Michael's going to narc on me. How is he going to narc? There's no phones.
Well, I thought he was doing that. I don't think he cared about that. I thought he was doing that for just to hide the evidence of the pirates.
Okay.
But the pirates are missing. So they're going to find out one way or another. I really don't think, John Rambo really cares about authority in the United States. So I don't think he was really worried about Michael killing on him.
Yeah.
So,
So again, in that scene, there was probably 50 kills. They were shooting and stabbing little kids, flame throwing a little kid.
I was shocked when they stabbed the kid. They never show that in movies. They never really show too many deaths with a child.
I know. Can we talk about that? Why do they kill kids in movies?
They never do. Ever. I mean, listen.
Why are kids left out,
But seriously, I can't tell you a movie where I've seen they'll show the aftermath. They'll show a gunshot and then the aftermath. Here they're showing a child gets stabbed and then thrown into the fire. I couldn't believe they showed him. No, it was a baby.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They threw a baby in the fire. That was insane. I've never seen that in a movie. This movie really did not hold anything back.
It's like Stallone. We're telling you, the heads of Universal or Paramount over there. This movie could be really big, and we might make another one, but you got to take out the kid getting thrown in the fire. Ew, you have to get in the fire.
Oh,
all right. I
haven't heard Stallone in a while. That was pretty good.
Oh, good. I thought it almost came off like Travolta-esque.
Oof.
So, did you know who the old white guy was?
Wait, hold on. You just insulted Stallone.
Well, no, I was insulting my impression.
Yeah, I know.
You said it was that good.
Yeah, but you're saying it's close to Travolta?
My bad impression was.
I know, but still, you're putting him in the same category as, I don't know.
So did you know who the old white guy was? That the church pastor?
No.
Did you ever watch White Shadow growing up? He was the white coach that was, it was a 70s show that was on Nick at Night back in the day. He was in other stuff too. Have you seen him? He's a million things. But
when you were young, you were watching White Shadow that came out in the 70s?
I used to watch Nick at Night all the time, dude.
I know, but there's better Nick at Night shows than White Shadow.
I watched them all.
I don't think I can name one person in my entire life that's ever watched White Shadow.
Okay, put it on Twitter afterwards. We'll do a poll. So Rambo has to take the mercenaries back to where they are. So then this is where Rambo is making all his weapons. And again, dude, the British guy, Lewis, I think that's his name. We'll call him that. And he is just angry the whole time. Matthew Marsden's character is awesome. And again, we mentioned a little bit before. Well, why do you think, really? Why was Rambo so quiet with these guys? Obviously, he was already doing it.
I think he just looks at them like they're like, look at these like chumps. Like they think they're badass. They think they're like Rambo is the top guy.
Yeah.
So you know those movies that Chuck Norris was in, like the Mission
Delta Force?
No, they're called Mission something. Anyway, maybe Chuck Norris can give Rambo a run for his money, But Rambo's like the top guy, so he's looking at these like younger guys who think they're badass, and he's like these guys have no clue what war is about. And I think that's why he was just staying quiet, because he's like, I'm not gonna waste my time, waste my breath on these guys because they don't know what they're getting themselves into.
So you're saying he was like Bennett in Commando talking to the guy? Oh, yeah. These guys, they don't do anything. I wish Matrix was here. He laughed too.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. I think he just he knows. Like, you know what? These guys seemed excited to go. At one point, I just think they look at war differently than Rambo. Like Rambo only wants war if he has to.
Yeah, that's true. They want war because they want war. That's true.
Right, and I think that's the difference. So he looks at it in a much different way. Like I don't think he likes killing.
I would say that I know he's angry when he's doing it, but he's pretty good at it.
Well, he's like the Hulk. The more angry you get him, the more violent he gets.
Yeah.
But I don't think he wants to kill just to kill. There's got to be a reason. Like listen, these guys all deserve it. There's a reason. Yeah, but I think the other guys, wouldn't think twice to kill someone. Just that's in their way.
So then right now is again another gross scene. Like this is like kind of calm. It's not like it's lovey, but dude, the way they had Julie Benz in her own cage and the pigs just waiting to eat her.
Well, I didn't realize what was going on yet because they didn't show that yet because they had the pigs there, but they didn't explain why they were there.
Yeah, no, that's true. But you could tell, I guess, in a way they were trying to dig to her, and I'm like,
well, yeah, right. But still, I just thought they were just treating her like a pig. Like, they threw it in there, so I didn't think much of that yet. But if she was there for 10 days, I wonder what else those guys did to her.
I know.
So then I questioned, was she really there 10 days? Because if she was there 10 days and based on what these guys do, she looked in pretty good shape.
She looked pretty good.
But yeah, these guys, this is the scene where they grabbed the one guy out of the cage. Like at the beginning.
When he looks at him, yeah, because the one guy makes eye contact and he's like,
right, yeah, and then you don't know what he does with him until later on, which was disgusting.
Ugh, that was disgusting. So Lewis has another one of my favorite lines in this movie. He goes, "They send the devil in to do God's work." That's irony. I liked him. Obviously, besides him being a dick, no matter what, he didn't give up.
No, listen, I like them. I like the whole crew because I think they're all little mini Rambos. At the end of the movie, they all have their own shining moment.
Oh yeah.
But again, it's like anything else. Like they treat Rambo because they don't know who he is, but they treat him like crap. And
how do they not know who he is? Right.
Well, yeah, right. You would think that 100%. You would think totally know who he is.
One man murders all these. Whatever happened at the end of? I know he left at the end of Rambo: First Blood. He leaves the town.
No. In the first one, he goes to jail. At the end of the first one.
Oh, how long is he in jail for it?
Well, because they pull him out to go to.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
So he was in jail there, but then he. I don't know if he was out of jail at the end or was he going back to jail in the second one at the end of the second one? But then Troutman was kidnapped, so they had to use him again, pull him out again. You think at this point he gets a free ride?
I would hope so.
He should have to pay taxes the rest of his life.
And I think that would be all over the news. Hey, ex-Vietnam vet murders all these. But again, he
murders Afghanistan, and that's what he did. He went to Afghanistan, and 100%. But no one knows. He needed
a better lawyer. He needed Johnny Cochran because those Brian Denny and all those guys put him in a basement and hosed him down because he just wanted something to eat.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Well, you made a point though. So this is military stuff. These guys are military. Any big thing in the military, they all know about it.
Yeah, and they would be like, "Oh, here, let's do some exit training. Let's do let's not go Rambo. We get out of here." Right. So
but if you look at him, he looks weathered. He looks like he's seen some stuff. Again, This guy's taking you to the most dangerous area. Talk nice to him.
Oh yeah, be nice. He's your boat. He's the boatman.
Yeah.
Please drive the fucking boat. So the mercenaries, this is what's crazy, and it is like this in those countries. Like when you go to like I've never been there, but the Himalayas, like it could be a little kid that's your guide, a 90-year-old man, or anything in between. When they get there, and the two people that are their local rebels are a 17-year-old and like a 10-year-old, and they right away, all those guys, all badass, all the way they were talking shit about going in and killing everybody. They're like, "Fuck this, man! There's 100 guys. We're gonna just look at it and then leave." It's like, what happened?
I was laughing though because like he said something like you said, but you're only two guys. Like that's and two guys. One's like I said, like a 9-year-old. Like yeah. I mean, you know what? Listen, at that point, he deserves to be pissed then. Like then Lewis should be pissed then because he's going there to risk his life, and they only sent 2 guys to help.
I know.
So I mean, I get his disappointment there, but who was it? Was it Schoolboy? Who was the one that said we got to check it out still? Or
no, he was like the big thing, and that's why it was like set up for the franchise because he was him and Rambo were together in this movie for a good half of it. But yeah, he was like kind of like the voice of reason for the mercenaries. Yeah. But yeah, he's the reason they went and checked it out. But
well, he saw something in Rambo on the boat. Like he's the only one to talk to Rambo nice. Like I think he knew like. There are people that go in the military just because, like, that are military's in their blood. Like, they want to do the right thing. And I think he's the type of kid that went to the military and, like, he goes, listen, there's more to the story to this boatman kind of thing. And I think that's why he's always, like, trying to include Rambo. He goes, he can walk behind me. And instead, he makes him go back to the boat.
Yeah. That's what made no sense, too. Again, he goes, oh, we don't have enough guys.
Right.
And they had other guys, which, again, didn't have I don't remember seeing the other guys on the boat. That was weird because when he goes, oh, I brought my men, they could stay on the boat, and he had his little bag. So you're like, oh, what's in that bag? But he's like, my men will stay with the boat. He's like, you're the boat, man. You stay with the fucking boat. And I'm like, why not let him come?
Well, you're right. You're letting a 9-year-old come with you, but you can't let this hulking guy that's behind you go with you.
Leave the 9-year-old with the boat.
Yeah, but the guy wants to come. Like, wouldn't every extra hand help? Like, but you made a point of you didn't see everybody on the boat. In this movie, people come out of nowhere.
Oh, I know. I watched this. I watched it on Amazon Prime. So a couple times I paused it, and it was like mercenary number 4. I'm like, there's no mercenary number 4. There was all guys that had names. All the guys had names that we saw.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but then randomly there was other guys that were part of them.
No, a car will come out and 100 guys come out of one car. It's like a clown car.
Like yeah.
For the whole movie. Like, yeah.
So the next scene, I think, is like one of my favorite scenes. Like, obviously, the end is phenomenal. It's like over the top. But the end scene is one of my favorites because the shot beforehand is so gruesome and disgusting. Yeah. Like, showing the bodies covered in flies and the heads on sticks and the bodies hanging. Disgusting.
The decomposing bodies, they smell like they're all covering their nose. Like, and the one guy said that. He goes, I've seen some stuff in my life, and I've never seen anything like this. Yeah.
And then you have the army truck pull up. Same thing as the beginning of the movie. People get out. They throw the mines. The people go across. Nobody dies.
Yeah. Which gets the guy even more angry.
Dude, when they start getting ready to fire at those guys.
Yeah.
And he comes out of nowhere. Dude, when he takes the guy off, the guy walking across the little bridge in between, and it goes right through his head. Dude, whoever did the special effects in this movie, honestly, the kills, I don't know if that's how people get shot, if they get shot by like, I wrote down Gatling gun, but I read it's like an M50 or something. But dude, if that's how people really die with those, the effects were so good.
Yeah. No, it's this movie again. This movie came out a while ago too, and we've seen recent movies where the violence is so CGI'd. I mean, but this is ultra realistic, and that's why it's disturbing. I mean, like it's a good movie, but like it's almost too good. Like it's like almost too realistic.
No, that's true,
and that's it's a fine line.
Dude, and just how quick he takes all the guys out and the shots of it. Man, just so cool. And then Rambo, and then again, it flipped. in his head. Maybe because, like you said, he has to do it. If somebody's really in danger, he helps out.
Correct.
You know.
Correct.
And the line, "Live for nothing or die for something."
Well, that's when he has the arrow to the captain's neck.
Oh yeah.
So and he goes, any of you boys want to shoot? Now's the time.
Yes.
So I mean that was awesome because he has the arrow right to the captain's neck, and they all have the guns on him. And the minute they shoot him, obviously the captain's going to go too. He goes, "Listen, if you're going to shoot, you better do it now." That was awesome. And then he says, "Live for nothing or die for something."
And you know what's really rad about that? I read about it. So that's become the battle cry for the rebels in Burma. So this movie was banned in Burma. They only get on like bootleg. So Stallone, when he heard about that, he said it's one of the most proudest moments he's ever had in film, that he was able to inspire the rebels in that country. That's awesome. Something, man, for a guy of his career.
Well, I guess this without this movie, I wouldn't have remembered. I wouldn't have known what's going on over there. No, I know. He shined a light on the horrors that are going on over there. So I mean, I can see them, appreciating the movie, but I can also understand why they want to ban it. I mean,
And the next scene's real cool too, because they take the army truck, they put on the one guy puts on the uniform, and they start driving. And Rambo, dude, Captain, go
right away,
go
already,
go. He's telling everybody like when to go, and then they got to make sure Schoolboy gets up there, and that's a cool scene too.
Yeah,
he gets up to the top and dude, some of the stabbing scenes in this movie are, oh my god!
But Schoolboy shooting, just like throughout the movie, that gun is amazing. Like, I was asking my son because he plays so many video games, he knows about guns. I'm like, what gun is that?
Wait, so you gotta have him on, gun expert.
We should have. You know what? Next time we gotta have him on. No, literally though, like every time we see a movie now, I'll ask him, what gun is that? He knows right away. Like Call of Duty has taught him guns, right away. So it's pretty crazy. But yeah, that gun it blows arms off and shoots people across the road. Like it's unbelievable.
And if you notice the one scene, that gun must weigh a lot, because the one time he's moving it, when Sarah's right next to him, he's like,
yeah,
like it's like a serious kind of like, yeah.
Well, it also works as binoculars, because he's constantly using it as binoculars too. So
that is true. So it's like a twofer.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the scene though. You also see the guy being eaten by the pig.
Oh yes, yeah. I think Rambo sees that when everybody's doing their little covert.
Yeah. You see, half his legs are all shredded up. Ugh. Like his legs look like bacon. Like it look like shredded bacon. Like like all that's what it looked like.
The pigs are like, hey, fuck you, man. So how about when all the Burmese guys are like drunk, and again the timing's perfect, right? Did they know that they were going to party and like half in the bag? Because they're making like these women, again, it's so creepy, but
women, I bet you they're supposed to be like teenagers. I bet you
I'm sure.
Without a doubt. I mean, they're supposed to be like, it just, that's what makes it even more disturbing. But yeah, like that's probably a nightly thing that these guys do.
No, I know. But I hope I'm sure the actresses weren't teens. I hope not.
No. I'm sure they weren't. But I mean, I think, right.
But the dancing they were doing was the most non-erotic dancing.
Well, they didn't want to be there.
Oh no, I know that.
Well, so why would they dance all sexy if they want to be there?
Well, if you want to live, I guess. I don't know.
So if you've been kidnapped away from your family and beaten every day, and they say dance sexy for me, you think you're gonna put you on the best dance moves?
Jamie Lee Curtis did it in True Lies.
Well, that was her husband.
She didn't know it was her husband.
And look how bad she danced in that scene. She fell about 5 times.
No. But no, that whole scene, and then again, just like this movie, it goes from like bad to worse in the sense of like disgustingness, because it goes from like, oh, this is like really disturbing watching this, and then they each start pushing the girls, spitting on them, like spitting alcohol, throwing. I think they're flicking cigarettes at them.
Like just mocking them the whole time. Horrible. Like,
and then they just take them individually. And
how about the captain? His little thing.
Right? I mean, that was weird, dude.
Very weird. I mean, like, just everything. It's like it's so disturbing, every aspect of this whole movie. But there is a little scene that reminded me of Roadhouse.
Oh, what scene?
How Rambo.
Oh, that. Yeah.
We're close to that part, no?
No, it's like the next part. So the part just before that is when the girl's getting taken and she's kind of like getting dragged by the arm by a guy.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
the guy like grabs her, tells her to shush, and then dude, the way he stabs the guy, it's like
Yeah.
it's like super. That's what's crazy. What they do in this movie that are perfect. Like I forgot. I'm trying to think what movie it was. It wasn't The Expendables. It was another action movie we did. They used maybe Samurai Cop. They use fast forward way too much. Meanwhile, that way you could have used for Samurai Cop because it kind of is.
Yeah, 100%. And you know what? I wish I had it then. That's what wig?
Oh my God! I haven't seen you in so long.
We haven't done a podcast in a while. What are you talking about?
But no, the way they would do the fast forward for that little bit before the stab, and God, it looks so. Oh, it looks so.
And like like the way it looks very real. Like he easily could have stabbed them once and then threw him aside. Like they did it with like anger, and they did it to make sure the guy was dead. Like because he stabbed him in the throat first, and then he stabbed him in like his kidneys, like about 5 times. Now
I think that goes to what you were talking about earlier. Rambo does it because he has to do it. Those guys, maybe they're kills. If you notice, if you went back and we like broke them down like ESPN or something.
Oh, very violent.
Yeah, not even just violent. They were very like. I don't know. They were almost like going for like points or something because there were some that were like, it was like they were doing like combos.
That's your killing move?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Up, down, left, right, A, B, A, B.
To be honest with you, I think they were scared shitless. I think after seeing the scene with the, them running with the what are they called? The
mines, the rice.
I think they kind of like they realized what they were in. I don't think they really expected to get this. They didn't expect 100 people. They didn't expect. So I think they were just scared. So like anyone that went near them, they're just going to go nuts and just start killing them. Because again, Rambo doesn't have to do that. War is his life. I think these guys probably never seen this like violence before. That's what I'm thinking. That's why they're so like crazy with the killers.
So like Rambo, he hasn't killed somebody. Let's say like if the movie is run like timeline wise, so like 20 years, it's just like riding a bike.
Yeah, I think so. For him,
because I'm sure he hasn't done it in a while. But yeah, the next scene is the one you were talking about.
He took down Afghanistan and Vietnam.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, so I think your skills are pretty sharp. 20 years later.
Yeah. No. So you said you were talking about the Swayze style. That was.
That was awesome. Well, that was it, and so okay. So they each of the group kill someone, and they're all quiet and stealthy, and then that was the guy that was going to go after. I was going to call her Rita from Dexter, but that was going to go after the girl,
Sarah. Yeah,
Sarah. And then you just see him from behind, like just grab the guy. That was just awesome,
and almost like massage it.
Yeah.
Because he was like holding. I didn't know what he was doing. I didn't know. I didn't think he was gonna pull it.
I thought he had a knife to the guy's stomach. Like I didn't realize. Like I figured. Like I thought he was like holding his like mouth closed, or like I didn't think he was just ripping guys' throat out. Like I mean, like why?
Why not?
Is it that easy? I mean, we've seen 2 people do it now, but like, isn't that easy?
Do movies even attempt that? They're like, that's like a Swayze thing.
I'm just saying though, like, do you think it's easy to pull someone's throat out? I mean, like, the skin is pretty thick. I don't think so. Unless you have long nails.
Yeah, maybe. It's all.
Someone tells me that Rambo doesn't have long nails. So.
Maybe he sharpens them. Maybe they missed that scene when he's like holding his finger on the rotating stone. Yeah. No, but this is like just it's crazy. Just before this scene is when they're like, we're gonna leave everyone behind. School bud's like, you can't do that. And this is a scene. This is the scene that this is like. I was like, usually when we do this, I'm like, this is the part me and Jamie are gonna talk the most about. So like timeline wise, so right after this, the other guys leave, the mercenaries, and it's Schoolboy, Rambo, and Sarah. So there's nothing there. How do the bad guys catch up so fast? Because it's night. Again, it could be 4 a.m.
I'll tell you why. Because they made a perfect stretcher, right? When they were carrying Lewis on a shoulder.
No, well, Lewis blew up, and they were already there. That's why they got startled and they started running and not looking for the mines. The army van pulled up and they were like, oh, they're here. But even before that, remember, like Rambo again, no weapons. He didn't pick up a gun. Schoolboy saved him and Sarah. But no, at that same time, it's like dark. They're running. And then
it was bright out as anything. Like how long? I wrote that down. How long were they running for? Because it was midnight and then it was bright.
And how about the army? How about the army guys? That's one thing I thought was pretty funny. Was they woke up? The one guy was like in his like guinea tea, and they seemed like hungover. And they went into the room of the guy with his throat ripped out. I guess that was like the number 2. I'm guessing to aviators. That's just weird about movies like this. There's no names.
Yeah.
Of the bad guys, so you don't know.
Do you need a name?
Aviator.
Throat guy.
Throat guy. Well, now that's his name, but we can't call him that now because he's dead.
Well, there's 500 others that come out, so it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
So, but so like, how far was the boat from the village that they were going to?
They said it was like 6 kilometers. The kid said it when he showed up. He was like, "Oh, it's 6 kilometers this and 2 kilometers that." So it's not that far, right?
It's like 8 miles.
And but still, how do they? I know they have cars.
You're right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But are there perfect roads? There are highways there.
Well, they did drive to the village, and they're running on foot now. So it's a little different.
Oh, yes, that is true. But yeah, so then that part, so then they catch up. The mercenaries, bald British guy, dude, his leg gets shredded. Michael kind of is nice. He changes from here on out. But yeah, he goes, leave the boot on. Does anybody have a knife? And dude, that scene was gruesome too, because you like saw the knife dig into the skin.
Yeah. And he didn't even like warn the guy. He just started.
I know.
Like, a lot of times in a movie, they're like, here, bite this or whatever. Yeah, just no. He just stabs him right away and starts cleaning it out. But this is, and he goes, go make a stretcher.
Yeah.
That stretcher these guys made, it's ridiculous.
That fast
and like that great. Like it was perfect.
It almost looked like the pieces of wood were like shaved down, like plain. You didn't see any like branches or. So the next scene is one scene I forgot about, but I think it's like probably my second, because the end scene, again, it's good. It's just over the top. This is like my second favorite scene. So they're walking and Schoolboy goes, we're being tracked.
Oh yeah.
So he like knows. So Rambo rips the bottom of her shirt and dude, he like what does he do?
He wraps it on his foot, her shirt.
Foot, yeah.
Because the dogs were following the scent. And he tells them, go, I'm gonna take care. And then he got mad because they weren't leaving. And he goes, give me your claymore. Yeah.
And when he starts running and he's getting tracked, like that scene's so cool. And then when he hides it, and this is what we were talking about right in the beginning. It's kind of sad, but he hides it up, he wraps the thing around, puts leaves all over it, branches, and the dog's like getting close. Dude, honestly, I'm not a claim. Maybe your son should come on. Maybe he's a claymore expert.
I know what you're gonna say. I asked my son. I go, "There's no way a claymore does that much damage." It was like a nuclear blast.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. I don't think it does that much damage.
It is a little box like that.
No. It's an explosion. It'll kill the surrounding people, but it looked like it took down trees. Like it was like
it did take down trees. And I thought when we saw Rambo running, I thought we were gonna get a dive. Like one of those dive scenes.
They did that in Predator. He already did that in Rambo too.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But you know what? Let me tell you though. Like seeing him run in the woods, he's no Seagal.
Oh no, he's a lot better.
That's what I mean. He looked like he was booking. Like he looks like he was running hard and fast, like in the woods. Like imagine Seagal doing that when he's running. But yeah,
he does his research on these movies too, because when he was talking to Matthew was in Black Hawk Down, so he did like actual training, like what actors do. But he said Stallone was no joke. He would be working out every day, looking at dailies every day, and he was like legit. Like he knew everything. Matthew showed up for the audition. Stallone knew that Matthew was a singer. And that he sang with Destiny Child's backed him up. So like he does so much research to get to know his actors.
Listen, I don't doubt it. I mean, he takes a lot of pride in his like visions of what he does. Don't forget, this is probably his first movie back that he made, in a long time. Because I think there was a lull of him not making too many movies, and this is like the first, like, because I think after this was the Expendables and all that stuff, and I think this movie put him back on the map, because he's, like I said, he's huge in this movie. I think this is wasn't there a time when he got caught with the like creatine, not creatine, like the steroid drug?
Oh, really? I don't know.
In Turkey or something like that. Like they weren't illegal, but they weren't like, it wasn't steroids, but it was something like that. I forget the whole story. But I think it was around this time. I mean, again, look at him here compared to Rambo 3.
No, I know. I was going to say, we're not going to look at him now, but I'm guessing Get Carter was the movie before this.
Okay.
His last big movie. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it wasn't even that big of a movie. Like, it was like, I don't think he made.
That's what I mean. I think that's what it was. That didn't do good, and he fell off.
Maybe, I don't know if Copland was in that mix or whatever, but no, that might have been longer ago. Yeah. So I think this is the first movie so I think he took a lot of interest in this movie, and I think that's why it's so realistic, because he's like, listen, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this right.
Yeah. And then here's the part that made no sense. So the next scene we cut to after this was all the mercenary guys are caught and getting beat up. Did they cut a scene out that we didn't see them get surrounded?
Yeah, they didn't. They must have, because they didn't show. They just show them there. Like, yeah, I would have liked to seen how they got stopped. Yeah.
But I'm glad they didn't cut the line from from Lewis. Come have a go at me, you lady boy cunt. He gave no shits this whole movie.
No, you know what? So now you think about it. The way he was talking to Rambo, he doesn't care. He's like, he has no fear. Obviously, he has no fear. Yeah, I mean, he listen. This is a point when they all turn around now and they start doing like little Rambo stuff. But yeah, I think they cut out a scene because it would have been nice to see how they got caught.
Yeah, it was confusing. Because I'm like, and I even rewound. I'm like, did I like miss something? Did I do something?
Yeah.
And then this is the part where, so Schoolboy and Sarah, they go off. He's sniping. He's checking everything out. He sees all the guys have guns. And this one made no sense. I get why. I guess he couldn't have like popped off like 8 shots and got all of them. I guess right away he was like, because Sarah's like, what can you do? He was like, nothing.
Yeah.
Man, dude. You didn't have to watch like your friends,
Oh, listen, there were so many people there. What is it going to, there's only,
No, I know.
Yeah, no, it stinks. But like, like I thought, I was trying to think, like, if he even shot, like, would it be worth maybe killing 8 of them? Just, or, whatever bullets you had left, like, listen, they're going to die anyway.
And they're going to find you anyway, most likely,
so,
right?
You might as well take some out, like, you have to at least get the leader.
Or just go from the side and like one bullet through all their temples.
Oh, get them all go like a domino.
Yes. So then this whole scene, there's like so many amazing deaths.
When he arrives, though,
how
epic! It was like a horror movie. Yeah, when he just, I thought that was just ridiculous. Like, it was so crazy. But it's because he's never like done that. Like, it was a sneak attack, and he just like, it was like a horror movie. Like, you see the monster behind you. That's what it was. Rambo was the monster.
What a great shot. Like the guy was in focus and he was like kind of blurry, and then he went in focus, and dude, that whole scene, like you said, everybody had their little Rambo moment.
Yep.
Like I love the Lewis's when he's like, come on. And he like knocks the guy on the ground because his arm is all beaten up too.
Yeah, well, he had a few moments because he was dragging himself around a lot too. So he had a few moments. Yeah.
And he started headbutting the guy. He headbutted the guy, knocked him out.
Yeah. Well, even Michael, I mean, like, you're talking about a peaceful guy.
Oh, I know.
And, who doesn't believe in violence. He didn't want Rambo to have, guns. And he's smashing the guy with a rock. Like, so you're talking about this one peaceful guy who got annoyed with guns, and he just murdered his first person, probably the most violent way possible, by smashing his skull with a rock.
So you're saying for murder his first person. Are you saying Michael went down a dark path after this? I'm
just saying that, listen, you're smashing someone's head multiple times with a rock, you might go south somewhere.
That's the gateway kill.
Listen, it's going to mess you up. I mean, I don't care how you look at it. He's going to be messed up. Although he seemed very fine at the end when what's her name came over and hugged him. He was okay.
Oh, he was, yeah. So that gun, when he's on that M50, first of all, when he goes up to get the guy off the M50, and he like slices the guy, right?
Yeah.
And the blood goes all over the front of it.
Yep.
And he is just ripping people apart. I read that in the original, they shot it, but it just didn't look as good because he is strong enough, obviously strong enough to hold 150 pound M50, but it was just like bulky for him to move. So that's why they attach it to the Jeep. But dude, that friggin' scene, the bodies.
So this is what I'm talking about. Where did all those bodies come from? Because they weren't there before when they were lining up.
The people? I know.
They really came out of, like, it's like they have, like, houses all around the area. Like, they heard gunshots, so let's go out in there and help. Because they weren't there when they had the 8 people lined up. So,
yeah, we only saw one actual group arrive, know how they got there. Because when the truck showed up, he shot the whole truck up. And how about the boat? Dude, how about that boat? The guy on that boat, it looked like he was coming from the same gun.
Yeah.
He was shooting people along the water and then hit a button, and it was a flamethrower.
Every weapon possible was used in the scene.
Oh, I know.
You know, there was including rocks. I mean, like a flamethrower.
Yes.
And that flamethrower was massive.
Oh, I love that. That was a cool part of this movie because that looked, again, it was real.
Yeah.
It had to be because it looked super legit. And just that whole scene was awesome.
And Rambo was taking out everything. He took out the boat. He took out the car. He took out. It was just like mowing down. It reminded me of that gun from Predator that Ventura had. Like like was it Gatling gun or something? Or?
He had, I think, a Gatling gun. I thought this one was one, but I'm not a gun expert. Maybe your son.
I got to ask my son. Yeah, I got to ask him.
But yeah, those bullets must have been like, holy crap, because they were just. Dude, the one, my favorite one is when he shot a guy in the kneecap. And it looks so, that's whoever did the special effects, like, bravo, because the kneecap, the whole part of that leg went away and the guy fell over onto like the broken part of the leg. It looks so real.
Limbs flying, brains blown around. I mean,
dude, the head's exploding in this movie.
Ridiculous. Yeah. Well, you forgot when Schoolboy was shooting those 2 guys on the road, he blasted them with one shot across the road. You remember, like, they flew.
Oh, yeah.
Like, does a gun do that? Like, I mean, like, it'd be great if they like were filming this with the real like bad guys in like real life. They're like, listen, we're filming a movie in your area. You know, we're gonna use fake bullets and all that stuff. And they started mowing down like the whole, the whole real bad crew over there.
Oh no, I know. No, and the end of the movie. Again, sometimes with the end of the movie is like Sadler Willis, you like want a little bit more, but with this one, it was just
he needed a breather. He needed a breather after that.
He stabs the guy in the stomach with the super like huge like hunting Bowie knife, and just
was it the thing he made?
Oh yeah, it was the knife he made. Yeah,
so
and it just goes over and just rips it out of the stomach,
and you see his intestines fall out.
Oh. And then he rolls.
So that knife was pretty big.
Yeah.
Where was he carrying it this whole time? I mean, he had all these weapons, and you don't see any weapons on him. You don't see the bow and arrow on him ever. Where's that come from?
Well, yeah, he didn't use that again. He only used that one part, right?
And would he throw it away?
He can't. I guess so. No more arrows. God, that's amazing.
But I love that at the end of the movie, he's back in the United States. He goes to his father's, gets his father's house, right?
Yeah.
And he somehow fits in the same jacket he wore in First Blood.
That was cool. That
and
he wore the same outfit.
Still has it.
And it was like our Rambo. So I'm like, all right. And then this is what was mind-blowing about this movie. I know there's a lot of people in this movie.
Wait, this is what was mind-blowing?
Well, the whole movie is mind-blowing. But sometimes when you watch a movie, like when you're watching and you pause, you're like, oh shit, I got 15 minutes left. And the scene was over. Sarah grabbed Michael and you're like, oh, blah, blah. And then we see him walking down a road. And I'm like, wait, there's still like 15 minutes left. But no, 10 minutes of credits, 5 minutes of him walking down the road. So I went afterwards and I'm like, oh, there's got to be something. Nothing. I thought there was like some kind of deleted scene or something.
You know what? I'm glad you mentioned that. I totally forgot. So we talked about it earlier, and you mentioned that. So after this is all done, and Sarah, he looked like a sad puppy. Because Sarah leaves him, runs down to Michael, and like hugs him, and they kept going back to Rambo and just seeing him all alone. Like no one was like thanking him.
I know.
No one was like high-fiving him. No one gave him a hug. He was all alone. He's the one that basically killed everybody.
Yeah.
And everybody left him alone.
He saved all their guys. I think only one of their guys died, right? The one guy that had the bandana on his head, right?
The Spanish guy. He died.
Yeah. He got blown up, right?
He died. He had a cool scene too. They're rolling on the ground. He's stabbing the guy. Yeah, no, did the captain die too or no? I thought he was.
No, he was okay, I think. We didn't see the end. We really didn't see it at the end. We just saw people moaning and then.
Okay, so with that gun and he's mowing down trees, boats, cars, how does he not hit anyone that's
I know.
on his own team? Like
I was thinking too, and to go back a few steps, when the rebels show up to help them out, the rebels are shooting like those artillery, like
right.
How are they not hitting good guys? Because we just see him start exploding. I'm like, how the hell do they know who? How do they know who's bad or not? Even Rambo, how does he tell?
Yeah,
they were kind of wearing sort of the same thing.
And the rebels came the way cops come in movies all the time. Like at the end, when everything's all done, like a commando, he just killed everybody, and all of a sudden a helicopter comes in. And, That's
hey, you guys good here? You need any help? All right, so that's Rambo. Jamie, you have the hair.
I do. I grew it out just for this movie, for this podcast. Movie's awesome. I mean, it's definitely, you have to go in there knowing that it's disturbing at the same time. It's like I said, it's extremely realistic. I mean, if you ever seen Black Hawk Down, very realistic war movie. Hard to watch sometimes. This is over the top, but it definitely shows you what goes on in some of these countries. And if you're a Rambo fan, you have to watch this because he basically combines the first three Rambos in a pile. He rolls it up and just makes one big movie. And this is it. Like it's you have to watch it.
Now, did you purposely say over the top?
Did I say over the top?
Yeah, you did. You said it's over the top.
Wow. Yes, I did.
I was gonna say the movie had a rocky finish, but
well, I bet he made a lot of cash.
Oh, I was trying to think of the Rhinestone Cowboy, but I couldn't shoehorn that one. But no, like you said, this movie's again, is it over the top? Is it too gory? But it's really good looking, and it's really good action, like legit looking, no fake like bad CGI. Well, it's fake, but like the CGI, everything they use looks great. And I like this character in this movie because he talked about like, hey, I'm only gonna have to kill because it like has to be done. He's not just doing it because he wants to do it. And he got pushed to the edge. Somebody that he sort of cared about was in harm's way, and he
and also again, it makes you feel bad for him because this is a guy that's like I almost feel like he's bullied constantly. He's bullied in every movie he's in. He's treated like an outcast in every Rambo 1, 2, 3. I mean, he's constantly an outcast, yet he doesn't ask for trouble. Like he tries to help everybody, and everybody shits on him, like all the time.
Terrible.
So and you wonder why. He's like he looks lonely. He just looks like he's just defeated.
I hope I didn't. Did you see the new one yet?
I did.
Oh, does he have a girlfriend?
I don't remember. He does have a niece.
I would hope he finds love. The
new one is like Taken.
I know. I didn't watch it yet, but
it's a combination of Taken and Home Alone.
All right, maybe we'll
So I mean, if we can find something for the new one, that's
all right. Maybe we'll get something from that.
Yeah.
So that was Rambo, and now the next movie that we're going to be covering is Scary Movie 4. And we got somebody whose songs I played at many parties while in my youth. Songs like Right There, Holiday Inn, and so many more. And of course, I'm talking about Chingy. I can't believe that I was able to talk to him. It was like, I never thought I would have the opportunity. Obviously, we've talked to so many amazing actors and actresses and directors and writers and producers, but just to be able to talk to him, he's only 40. when he blew up so young, but he started at a really young age. So it's a video interview, which is even cooler. And during the interview, we talked about like he started writing music at the age of 6. He even rapped like his first song that he did on a mixtape when he was like 8 or 9. And he has a new album that's coming out soon. So we talked about that. So and we talked about his role.
Going from Rambo to Scary Movie.
Well, it's going to be part of our, we're going to do 4 movies. It's going to be action-packed Halloween. We got Scary Movie 4, Amityville Horror 2, Child's Play 3, and then we finish it up on Halloween with Halloween Part 5. So we have a lot going on. So don't forget to review, rate, share our podcast. Follow us on all social media at Sequels Only. And don't forget to check out our website, sequelsonly.com. Good night.
Night.